everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Solar Punk City. I'm here with a really big artist that I've been a fan of for a good amount of years. She's an illustrator, she's an animator, she's an NFT artist. She's been doing a lot of stuff. I'm here with the big UhCaribe, the Chama Candela. She's actually from my country, and you're the first guest from Venezuela, and that is something that makes me super happy, and I'm super happy to have you here. How are you doing? How are
Uh,
you doing? Who?
Thank you for having me. Hola, hola, how are you? I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm so excited to have you here. You are one of my favorite artists in forever.
Thank
The
you.
first time I knew about your work was in a you were participating in some kind of art contest for a soda can. I think the
Yeah,
name is Chinoto. That was like
yeah,
I don't know how many
it's kind
years
of
ago.
like a Sprite in every
Yeah, it
other
was like in a
country, but
Sprite.
in ours it's Chinoto.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know.
we have that. And you were making like this really cool graffiti design for the sprite. And I thought like that is pretty cool. I was very into game development at that moment. And I knew some other artists that also know you. You know Seo Arts? You know him?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he's
Yeah, he's
amazing.
super friend of mine. He's super friend of mine, and so it is super nice to have you here. Um, so
I'm glad to be
how
here.
so I want this episode to for you express yourself, to talk about your projects, to tell people how do you move for being an artist, like an illustrator and an animator, to now you're like a digital monster creating a lot of digital art, creating digital parties, doing like augmented reality parties with your art. You're doing a lot of stuff. Do you want to chat about how do you move from one? How did you start? Starting
Of
from there.
course, of course. I always, yeah, I love talking about my start and about myself. No, but really,
Of course.
thank you for asking. It actually like a whole circle right now, and at this moment, I feel like at the very beginning of how of where I started, and it all makes sense now. Like I started being a VJ. I studied graphic design. I'm a graphic design bachelor, and at that moment I wanted to be more like an audiovisual artist, but I couldn't study the career, and I had to stay in graphic design. And I went to a party to an audiovisual party, actually, an electronic music party, and I saw the visuals, I saw the VJ, and it all makes sense. Like, I want to do that. So for the next 2 years, I just wanted to jump into that. I went to the parties, I cleaned the floors, I made flyers for free and stuff like that until I made it into a crew. And from that moment on, it was just going to parties, doing the decorations for the parties, doing visuals for the parties. And then when I finished my career, I worked at a television station as a graphic designer doing animation. I really didn't know how to use After Effects. I used Flash at the moment, and like I lied in my resume and I said I knew how to use um After Effects, but actually I learned that same week, and I stood there for like a year and a half. Then I went to the first, it was like an advertising agency, but it was the first, it was called Wycott, and that was the first agency in the whole country that was doing applications for Facebook and Facebook games and stuff like that. Like the whole social media thing
Right.
was
What's the name of it
starting.
again?
Wycott,
Oh,
like
yeah.
WIKOT.
Yeah. I think
Do
I used to work
you
for a
kind of
company
remember?
that I used to work for a company that we were doing some like third party development for that company. I used to work at Watto
Most
Apps.
probably.
Watto, maybe you've heard of it. Oh, just one thing. Can you move a little back? Puedes moverte un poquito para atrás, un poquito. Ahí está bien, ahí está bien.
Here?
Ahí está perfecto.
Perfect.
Sí.
I can see my hands
Okay.
perfectly.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that's nice. I like how you just look for your space, right? Like nobody give you nothing. You were just like, I want this. I don't care what it takes. I'm gonna lie a little bit in my resume, but
Yeah.
I know that I like it and this is what I want to do, and I'll probably I'll do what I can and learn from that, right? Like once
Yeah,
you
I
have it,
actually
it's
had
fine.
I had like a rough I don't want to say like a rough life, but it was kind of rough for a moment because I
Yeah.
didn't have enough money and the country was going to somewhere really dark.
Right.
And that was at the, I don't know, 20 years ago. And
Yeah.
by that time I decided I rather build my portfolio than working in anything that would give me money but wouldn't give me the joy and the learning that
Yeah.
I wanted. So it was rough in that way, but at the same time, I really felt the freedom of just going my way, as you say.
Yeah, and you're not only an artist, you're definitely an entrepreneur. You're always doing a lot of stuff at the same time,
Yeah.
right? And that's
Yeah, a
great.
lot.
That's great. Yeah, and now you are putting these visual pieces for musical artists, right, to create their videos. Is that
Yeah, the
right?
music scene has always been like my own scene.
Yeah.
I've been this kind of translator for the music since I was a
Mm-hmm.
VJ. That's why I say that this is like a full circle thing, because at
Yeah.
that moment I felt like the music scene was giving me the chance and the opportunity to become
Yeah.
who I am today. And now with NFTs, I feel like it's my time. Like I want to pay back. It's not like
Yeah.
anyone is forcing me to do it, but I really want to
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
it. And I think it's a perfect company for my
Yeah.
visuals, to have music and to have people working with me. And maybe it's now I have the opportunity to just say the kind of music I want. Before
Mm-hmm.
it was the musical artist saying what kind of visuals they want, and then they would find me. Now it's
Yeah.
backwards or the other way around, and I have this opportunity to look for the music I want and pick for the
Yeah.
artists that I've been longing for a long time to work with. And I don't know, it's amazing. It's just amazing. And I have found some of my old mates from that crew. Now
Mm-hmm.
they're into NFTs too, and I've been collaborating with
Nice.
them. Like one of the greatest friends I had at YCOD, it's the dev helping on one of my projects,
Mm-hmm.
and another guy that it's a musician and a great producer too. He's a great. He has a project, an amazing project called Los Malandros, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I collaborate with him, and it's been great. Like been super great, like reconnecting with people that were
Yeah.
brought together for the same thing, which was art and technology. So it's
Yeah. Yeah.
amazing. It's actually super amazing.
One of the things I like the most about your art style is this influence of like Venezuela and music and Caribbean and being a Latin American. It feels so authentic. It's not like just copying. It's super authentic. Like if some people can see your art, and I'm gonna be showing some images here. If people can see your art, it feels very different. And people like you is is what inspired me to do these kind of things like this show. I want to do my bring my own person and my own education and experiences as a Latin American or as a Venezuelan and put it and use my skills, right, like my superpowers, but in this way, and show the world that we know all this. And like you're doing with your NFT, you're bringing all of our
Yeah.
colors and all of our style from there and putting it together in these art pieces in a very harmonic way, and I like that a lot.
Oh, thank you. And you do
Actually,
have
yeah.
superpowers, like building superpowers. I love this. I
Yeah,
love this.
I'm gonna show you one of my superpowers right now. So
Please, please. please.
let me see. This is. Can you look over here? So
Oh,
I put. I have here. This is green here. You were looking the other side. Doesn't matter. But in here,
I know.
look at this. I can. Oh yeah, it is. It is kind of working, but it's slow. Maybe it's the internet. So,
Okay.
for the people who don't know, this is the actual. You're the guest that is the farthest that I have a guest. You are in Colombia right now, and I'm in Seattle, really close to Canada. So having this conversation here is super magical because it feels like you are here
It is.
in this
It
TV set,
is.
and so that's maybe why the TV is kind of slow showing this art video of something you made for a music band, and these musicians are using your art for their music
Yeah.
in YouTube for free, right?
Yeah, and this I have like a funny anecdote about it because yeah, I have this bunch of animations I give for free to any musician so they can have visuals to put up with their music on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been friends with any sort of musicians and a lot of urban musicians, hip hop musicians, and I have this friend which is he's Willie DeVille, and he has
Mm-hmm.
like a really cool, super popular YouTube channel, and he found these other guys called Santa Marta,
Mm-hmm.
and found their music, found this song especially called Lluvia, and he sent me the song and he said, I have this idea, I want to put up like a huge, I don't know, like a video together with all of your animations that are available, and I don't know, I want to put that up. And I said, yeah, why not? But between those animations, there's one especially that I love, like animating like really popular memes sometimes. And
Yeah.
there's this meme from Brazil, which
Oh yeah,
is
the dog.
a little guy. Yeah, a
It's
little guy
awesome.
dancing with the
Yeah,
dog.
that is such a good movement and dance of the dog. It is
Yeah.
so cool. Yeah, yeah,
and,
yeah.
and they use that meme as the thumbnail for the
Yeah,
video.
yeah.
And many people thought this was um like a bunch of memes or
Right, right,
I don't know, like
right.
funny videos. They Many people got into into that video because they thought there were funny videos, and then
Right,
they
right.
found the music, and the music is super great. It's, I mean, it's
Yeah,
one
it
of
is
my
very
favorite
good.
songs ever.
Yeah.
It is very good. And not only that, many of the people that came to the video were from Brazil. So you're
Mm-hmm,
gonna get
mm-hmm.
like a lot of comments in Portuguese on the video. And I think the
Right.
video already has like 2 million views or something
Mm-hmm.
like that. And then we made like a remix. They made a remix for the song, which was done with Vestalone and Ira Pelusa, which are Venezuelans too, and they're super great too.
Yeah.
And this song it's amazing. So I got together with two more visual artists, which are Ro and Rick. They're Venezuelan too, and within a month we made a whole different version of the video. It has this same walking cycle. It's the only thing
Mm-hmm.
that repeats itself in the whole video, but the rest of it, it's absolutely new, and it tells a story, a Venezuelan story about El Silbón. So during this song you're gonna hear que como the kind of whistle that the man does, and it's kind of dark, the video, but I love it.
Yeah, you know, it's really nice to have someone from my country here because we kind of have the same kind of humor sometimes, or so I was like, for some guests, they were like, I don't use guns, and we don't use guns either. I mean, it's not like I'm gonna go kill someone, but it's like it's like a
No,
game for us because we're kind of used to it in some way. It's
it's
some
like a,
weird,
it's like
wicked game.
it's part of the imaginary.
Yeah, right?
I'm really not up for violence, but guns seem cool. Like the shape is cool,
Yeah, right.
and these ones are so cool. I just bought like gel blasters, a gel blaster gun.
Uh-huh.
Have you seen those? Like they
Is it
shoot
like a
like
nerf?
really smooth, but they shoot gel balls. Like
All
those
right.
you can grow with water, and they
Oh,
just
okay.
splash into little things of gel, and it's so great. And I
Yeah,
love
it's
having
fun. It is
the
fun.
sensation of the trigger. I used to be a paintball player too, so having
Oh,
the sensation of
nice.
having a
Nice. I love
trigger
paintball.
and stuff is just,
Yeah.
I
Did
don't
you
know,
ever
it's
had
fun.
an Omega?
No.
You know the Omegas?
What's an omega?
Do
No.
you remember? So the Omegas were a gun for like it was a toy gun where you can shoot like these little los balines, the little
Uh-huh.
like plastic like bullets, but they were
Yeah.
super hard. They could leave you a mark, and the kids were playing with it, and it was like for anyone, and people were selling it like in traffic, and traffic lights, and the kids. I mean, it was
Yeah.
super dangerous. You can lose an eye with it, so that was crazy
Damn.
to have that. Yeah,
No,
that was
this
super
gel
popular.
blasters kind like with a goggles, but
All right.
but they're
Yeah.
fun and they hit
Yeah, let me
hard
see if I
too.
can play something else here. Alright, let me see. 1 second. Alright, so this other video, I don't know if you can see it here. Probably
Yeah, I
not,
can
but
see
it's
it.
being shown in the
No,
video.
it's loading. It's loading. Yeah,
Alright.
the J
Yeah, it's
Balvin.
gonna take in some time. So can you talk a little bit about this? How did you do this? Can you see what I'm seeing? Like the stage?
Yeah,
Or
I didn't
no?
prepare the visual for the stage, and
Don't worry.
this teamwork. This is a hard teamwork and in
Yeah.
short time, which makes it I think amazing because I
Yeah,
know
but
this
can
guy.
you talk to the people like what is going on here? So like what did you
Okay.
do? Because this is like a really huge milestone for any artist in any field or an illustrator or an animator. This is a really huge artist, musician artist and worldwide.
Welcome to my presentation. This is my video
Ahora le
for
doy el
J Balvin.
pase. Au.
Me encanta. I love it. So, I know this amazing DJ. I've been knowing him for the longest time, for these 20 years. We were talking about earlier, and um, these same loops I give to people and some others that only he has. I have them for him in a drive online, so he can always have access to my animations. And whenever he has an event like this, he can put them on. And he's been doing this for a while now, for 2 years, 3 years now. And one of the DJ Popper, which is the DJ for J Balvin, saw the visuals. We had the opportunity to put the visuals on his birthday, and this other guy, which he's called Matt Billete, he
Okay.
also works with DJ Pope and Balvin and many artists here in Medellin. So they saw the visuals, and Pope told Balvin, "Hey, how about refreshing the visuals? You're gonna go on a tour." He had a 1 month tour, and he suggested, why don't you just change the visuals or update them? So that's what we did. They called me like 3 days before the show. We were all called 3 days before the show,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
I needed to be at his office, which was a whole floor. It seemed like an
Mm-hmm.
advertising agency. I thought I was at an advertising agency like till the last day when I asked, like it kind of hit me at the moment when I saw the MTV award and some other things that, like, at the moment I knew, oh, this is the office of J Balvin.
But you didn't met J
And
Balvin, did you?
No, he didn't went to the office when I was
All
there.
right.
The guys went on tour with him, like my
Okay. Okay.
friends and this
Hmm.
guy Matt Villette and the whole team. They went with him to Brazil, to Argentina, Chile, Mexico, I think, and many countries during this month. And they took pictures with him, and they were behind the scenes, working with the visuals. This other girl, she's called um Cat Flow. Cat Flow.
All right.
She was my partner with this animation. I did all the walking cycles. Frame by frame animation takes a lot of time, so
Hmm.
I did the characters and the lettering and the backgrounds, and she put them all together. Like she made the magic, I think, because it looks so cool. If it was only the walking cycles of the characters alone, I don't think it would look as good as it did with the edition and the composition and everything she did. So it was amazing working as a team. It was amazing working with such a short deadline, because even though it was exhausting, um, it didn't have any changes, which is what comes great with so tight with when deadlines are so tight. So it was fun. It was amazing. It was great for my portfolio. It was
Right. Yeah.
kind of surreal because it happened in such a short time. Sometimes you do stuff and they come out after a month or after 2 months, or they never come out at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So having it come out in 3 days and having videos about it and having it in such a big huge
That
stage
was a huge
was
stage. Yeah.
surreal. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was surreal, and many people. We had credits at the end. J Balvin wanted us
Nice.
to be with credits. Yeah, and some
That's cool.
people stuck to the end and they saw the names and wrote to us or tagged us on Instagram.
Nice. Yeah.
With yeah, it
Congrats.
was
Congrats.
amazing.
That's pretty
It
cool.
was
That's pretty
super
cool.
amazing.
Yeah. Do
Yeah.
you like this? Like create this type of art for musicians?
Sometimes
All right.
I love doing my stuff. Like
You
I
do a lot
love
of
doing
stuff, right?
yeah.
But is this
and
something like you would like to like? This is the girl that makes this the art for music, or you want to be more than that?
I want to be an artist. I am an artist and I want to stay an artist. I know I'm multidisciplinary. I know I
Yeah.
have a lot of stuff going on. My consistency is based more on the concept
Hmm.
than on the medium. So whenever
Right. Right.
I have the opportunity to be myself and to put up art that looks like me, that feels
Hmm.
like me, that has my interpretation, I
Yeah.
want to be there. And especially if it's with artists that I connect with and artists that I know or artists that I admire their music, or if
Hmm.
at the moment that I know them, the music hits and it gives me like goosebumps. It's kind,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to be
Yeah.
there. So yeah,
I'm definitely know
because
that. Yeah. Your layer of
that
art,
feeling,
it gives you double goosebumps. That's for sure.
yeah.
It adds a lot of color and texture to any song. For what I've seen in the music videos that you've participated, which is awesome. You know,
Yeah.
in the last episode of the show, I talked about how I made a game against the government of our country. You know, the super government. And so I made a
Yeah.
game about the president and about like like people can kick the ass of the president and make it fly. And that's why I came to US to being a
I cannot
refugee.
remember something like that.
Yeah. So the thing is that I mean it was fun and everything, but then after that, people contacted me from Paraguay to work in another political game because they were looking at me like this is the political game developer or something. And you
And
know,
did you
I did
consider
it for the
yourself that
money.
way?
No, no,
Okay.
no. I am not. I consider myself more like an experienced developer, even more than a game developer. I create experiences. So this is an experience for me, and but it could
Yeah,
also
and
be
it's a great
augmented reality with
experience.
some stuff. Okay, yeah, but I mean, I made that game also for the people in Paraguay. I don't even know if I actually supported that party, and the game was very weird. The game was like it was from a political party against the others. So the game was like the characters were throwing babies or they were throwing shit
No.
or and I don't know anything about the context of the game. I was just getting paid. I was like, all right, I guess this is what I do for money. I guess now, but yeah, that was funny.
But did that money take you somewhere? Like, did you really make
Yeah, I mean,
something useful from that
uh,
money?
my life has been kind of like you too, like yours, because I started just with some little projects. Then I moved to a little company that were making some apps and some games, and then I started freelancing, and I got some money so I could move here. And then I've been like
Yeah.
growing and being able to have more freedom of creativity on how the things I create. So I don't want to feel myself like I'm only an engineer, but a creator
Mm-hmm.
that I can do more stuff than just coding, but also do things like this. I feel like people are multidimensional, right? You're not only
Yeah.
a coder or an illustrator. Maybe tomorrow you're gonna be releasing a song of you singing or something. You know, you never know. Maybe
I
you already
done
did.
that.
I don't know.
I've done that.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know you were you played paintball, for example. That's pretty cool. We do a lot of different stuff. I was doing a lot of parkour, for example, for a long time. I was
Oh,
doing
you?
tricks like, yeah. I was doing like backflips from super high, wall flips. It was crazy. But people don't know that when you meet like someone that is just an engineer, you probably think, oh, yeah, that's a nerd, but probably he does way more than just coding. So I'm sure
And
that you
do you
are like that too.
have you found like your timing, like how many time, yeah, like for example, for me it's like I always stay, almost always stay like 3 years in something and then I need to change. Like, do you have a timeline like that? Do you have like, have you timed yourself like that?
That's a good question. I have not, but I change the projects I do. I kind of realize like, all right, this project is dead. I need to just change, or
Yeah.
maybe I feel bad and I was like, I'm just losing my time on Earth right now. I'm just gonna change to another thing, you know. So yeah, I released, for example, a game. This is still in the App Store, and it's a pretty nice game, but s- at some point I feel like I don't know, this feels like lifeless. This feels like I'm just doing it for the money, for putting a lot of ads and making people play this
Mm,
for the ads and getting some cents, but I don't
yeah.
feel really, accomplished, or that this is part of who I am, or this is I just feel like another ad game in the stores, like another little company. So I don't know, maybe I have a little of artistic in my craft too. I don't know. This is another
Yeah,
way to
I
do art,
think
I
you
guess.
have,
Yeah, yeah,
obviously.
with tech. Yeah. Um. But yeah. All right. Now, there's something else I want to show you. I'm gonna
Show me,
close
show me.
this. Yeah. All right. So, there's also something super important that I wanted to talk in the show. But before that, it's about NFTs. I want to know like how you got involved into this and everything. But before that, so I've been a little involved in NFTs. I haven't created an NFT on my. Actually, I created a collection of NFTs because of a friend broke a leg. And I just took some really nasty pictures of his leg and I put them in OpenSea, like hoping that
Did
people
I
can buy
did
it
I
so it
did
can.
I saw did I see that today? Like, did you
Oh no!
collected
You
my
haven't seen
open
that.
mint?
No! You haven't
No,
seen that.
because someone that collected my open mint, I was trying to search
Oh,
for the
well,
for the
actually,
Twitter links, and this
look what we
account
have
only
here.
had this, yeah, this account only had this art and a broken leg
Yeah,
picture.
you found me. So this is the last NFT I bought. and she's the creator of this NFT. You just ruined my surprise.
Uh,
You
I
just
love
ruined it, but
it.
that's fine. Look what we have here. I have the
Mi
artist of my
arte.
NFT, the last NFT I minted. Um, so I think this is pretty cool.
Ta-da!
I like the Bulbasaur. I like the Pusheen. I like
Ay,
all the other
Pusheen.
stuff. I like the two girls in that pose. It's really, really cool. Really nice piece of art. And you just released this, right?
Ah, thank you for minting this. Yes, yes, this was an open mint, which means, if anyone doesn't know, that it's limited and unlimited, and you have a time for minting. You have a time for buying and creating an edition of the art. So if 20 people mint the art, which was the case, now this is an art with an edition of 20 copies, and those 20 copies made the whole art and the whole earning that I get.
Nice. Yeah, congratulations. Congratulations. And
Thank
I'm the
you.
proud owner of one of the pieces. Yes.
Thank
Yes, I
you.
have one. Yeah. Wow, you just ruined my surprise. But that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, it was a surprise,
Um,
and I caught you with the
you caught me.
picture
You
of a
caught
broken
me.
leg.
Yeah. That was probably very weird for you to see, like, what is this picture of someone's
Yeah,
broken leg?
kind of, but I think the whole NFT space has a lot of weird things, so it's
Yeah,
not the
right.
weirdest.
So yeah, I thought that it was gonna work somehow. Yeah, so that's the only kind of things that I've like done. I created a cryptocurrency once just for learning
Okay.
how to create one, and they call it Patacoin, like a Patacon.
I love it.
It's a dish from our country that I like a lot, and the amount of coins that I made was the amount of like Venezuelans in the country. I don't know, you know.
Oh,
Yeah, but
and what
it
did you
didn't
do
it
with it?
didn't. I just made it for fun. I actually
Okay.
didn't try to promote it or actually invest too much real money on it, but you are making this for real, and I've seen really big artists that are creating a lot of really nice collections. There was some kind of moment last year that there was a really big hype with NFTs. I'm sure that you can talk way more about like the current state of NFTs and what happened like a year ago. I was able to buy an art from it was a bull. I bought it for like $3,000 and I sold it like for $10,000
Oh
because it was like
yeah.
a huge, yeah, it was like a huge moment for a lot of speculation of art, and people were just making quick money there. But I think that's not the actual real intention of for actual NFTs art collections. So can you talk about what is the current state?
Well,
I'm sure that there's going to be people interested in know like I want to be an NFT artist too. What how can I do it? Pros and cons. I don't know. What has been your
there
experience
are
as an NFT artist?
there are all sorts of intentions in the NFT space. So,
Yeah.
to give like a background story in it, I jumped in it on by the end of 2020,
Hmm.
and I was just looking for something that was decentralized. I was really hoping to get something that wasn't PayPal, because when you're Venezuelan, like everyone is like threatening you to close your accounts or
Oh
to
yeah.
just take away your money, and you don't have like the mediums to do
Hmm.
anything. And since the sanctions against Venezuela, there has been a like a overreach on the law. The law
Yeah.
should reach like people in power in Venezuela, but
Hmm.
the laziness in banking and other platforms, they just overreach and they say we're gonna close this for any Venezuelan because we don't have time to check on the backgrounds of any Venezuelan
That's
that is here.
crazy.
Adobe
Yeah.
did that, and um, some platforms in NFTs have done that, like OpenSea and I
Mm.
think Foundation too. I don't know, and the banking too. So my bank was threatening me to close my account because I was a Venezuelan, and I was getting money into the account. Like how? Like,
That's
how am
crazy.
I supposed to
Yeah.
get money or put money into the account?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I was getting paid through the account, and
Mm-hmm.
they were closing my account. And i would I moved from Venezuela to Colombia, which is where I am now, and they were telling me that I was going to lose the account because I should have like make a notice on my moving and make a new account.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, everything was like, I don't know, like dying. And I think when that happens is an opportunity to change. But I wasn't aware on how to jump into crypto. Many people were telling me like, yeah, you should just charge in crypto. But I didn't know how to until I I got to this hashtag NFT, and I'm pretty curious. I'm always like looking for stuff, and I jumped into the hashtag, and I found that this is something people were doing. And at that moment, there weren't so many artists as they are now. They were more
Mm-hmm.
like people in tech interested in, I don't know, in putting maybe like pre-made stuff, or simple drawings or simple pictures into these
Right.
marketplaces and getting a ton of money. And I thought to myself, this is a great opportunity for me. But at that moment, NFTs were only made on Ethereum, and Ethereum had a gas fee that was so high,
Yeah. Yeah.
like 200,
I
yeah, like,
remember.
yeah, $200 by that time for just loading one picture. So that was a lot of pressure. I didn't have that amount of money, and I
Yeah.
just waited. Like, I jumped into the whole ecosystem because it's different. It's a whole new internet. Like, this is a whole new internet, or a new way of experiencing internet. And the the thing is, jumping into the community was the best thing that I could have done, because in
Nice.
by the time I really minted something, that was
Mm-hmm.
like 6 months uh after that, there were other blockchains allowing NFTs for pennies. So, and that was Tesos, for example. And by February, Mahomen, we had this like huge backlash, because the amount of energy and that's true, the amount of energy that the Ethereum blockchain and the Bitcoin blockchain took
Mm-hmm.
were huge. Not huge compared with the banking system and a lot of stuff we do, like watching YouTube or being on Twitter. Like, that takes a lot of internet and energy too. But we had backlash, and I had to take I have to take sides. And it was hard for
Right.
me because I don't want to harm the environment in any way, like, not intentionally.
Mm-hmm.
But I really had to take sides on, like, being Venezuelan. You cannot like take for certain just one article. You know how that works.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
pretty anti-system, so I don't know, I just saw that this was like a narrative that was building up that would benefit some people, and I was just, I don't know, like, awake. I think I didn't think it was that that true. Like, yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
taking a lot of
Mm-hmm.
energy, and I don't have the money to jump on this blockchain right away. But this other blockchain, it's eco-friendly. It takes the energy of just one tweet, and that was Tesos, and then Solana, and then BNB. And actually, Ethereum, it's eco-friendly right now because they did the merge, and they jumped into the L2 system, which it's now proof of stake and not proof of work. It's a lot of like technical stuff, but the main thing here is it just takes like the energy of one tweet right now. So if you're, I don't know, if you don't have the sympathy
The energy of one
to,
tweet.
Yeah, of one tweet. It doesn't take much.
Wow.
It's like
I mean,
Tezos is the same. Actually,
yeah.
the only, I think the only blockchain that it is right now taking a huge amount of energy until today is still Bitcoin, which is proof of work, and
Right, right, right.
a fork, yeah, like a fork of Ethereum, which is still working on proof of work, but the the rest of it is proof of stake, and it doesn't
Right.
need the huge computers. It doesn't need the the cards, like the
Okay. Yeah,
I
the
don't know
graphic
if
cards.
the graphic cards. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they don't need that anymore.
Hmm.
So the fees have lowered like immensely from 200. Now it's like $2 or $8, and it's pretty accessible for everyone. But the narrative, the bad other advertising that it got, it's still alive. So not many artists they would have at the beginning of last year. There are not as many you would have expected, and there are not so many collectors as you have
Right.
expected. And as it is so technical to explain how it is good now or how it is not so damaging now,
Yeah.
people are still saying, well, even if it doesn't, some people, like, if it,
Hmm.
even if it's not harming the environment, they're stupid because it's just monkey drawings or stuff like that. And now you get to a point that people are getting just maybe on one side, people don't want to learn something new because you have to learn a lot to like to really move
Yeah.
in there. And so from some other point, you're not getting the whole picture, and you need to get the whole picture to understand how this is beneficial for you. So getting to that
Right.
point, for artists as myself, this works like a crowdfunding or a Patreon
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
Kickstarter.
I feel
You
like
tell
any
people what you want to
artist,
do.
yeah, I feel like
Yeah,
any
like
artist is looking for ways to generate some income from their art, right? Because it's not easy to be an artist. There's a lot of
absolutely.
artists that are not getting paid or are getting paid very low or they don't have any jobs,
And
so
it's
they
so
are
much
looking always
work.
for different
Like,
ways. Yeah.
and it's so
They
much
need to
work
learn always. Yeah.
maintaining, yeah, and maintaining so many social medias, and
Oh
maintaining
yeah, that's a lot of work.
the stores, and the physical store, and the store for
Yeah.
prints, and the other, and the other and you need to get paid through PayPal, and PayPal will take away 3% or 6% or 20% if you're going through Uphold. Like,
Yeah.
it's really a, maybe if you're in the United States it's not as difficult, but when
Mhm.
you get the whole picture of how NFTs and the whole Web3 ecosystem have been helping developing countries and artists in developing countries, you get how why we do it. Like, I
Right.
have 30,000 followers on Instagram, and that doesn't get me any money. And people with
Yeah, yeah.
200K, 300K, they don't get any money from that. They have to work
That's
a
true.
lot. They have to be constantly promoting themselves. They have to be drawing things they don't want to draw because you like you get the money from commissions. So sometimes
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you're not drawing what you want. You're drawing what other people want. You're being a tool.
Mhm.
So this is actual freedom as an artist. You still have to promote yourself. You still have to build your social media, but
Right.
this like concentrates on Twitter mostly, and it's all about community. And you're gonna listen a lot of a lot of times that word community, 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 because what the Web one, this is Web three.
Yeah.
Web one was like, I'm a brand and I have a web page, and you get the information, and that's it. Then the social media, like, it was a revolution with social media 20 years ago, and well, less. Oh yeah, 20 years ago with MySpace. It started with MySpace, kind of. And when web 2, yeah, you have the brand with the web page, but now people are talking on social media, and the brand jumps into social media, and social media decides if you are like worthy of being bought.
Right, right, right.
Now, that sole acknowledgement, it's not enough. You need to recognize that the community, that the people that have been buying from you is the actual foundation of what you are. And if you don't, and I get goosebumps saying that, because if you don't recognize the people that are buying, if I don't recognize you as someone who has a piece of my art, I'm not, I mean, there are so many great artists. If I don't recognize you, and if I don't build the whole world that I'm building, recognizing that there are people like you are gonna go somewhere else, and you're gonna build somewhere else, because I'm not special. I'm unique. We're all unique, but I'm not special. And you're just gonna go where you are appreciated. So right now we want to be
Right.
appreciated as the foundation. And that goes to brands too. So if brands don't recognize the people as the foundation, people are gonna start just buy somewhere else, because now everything that is from a major brand, it's a copy from a copy from a copy. All shoes all looking the same, all t-shirts are looking the same. What is really
Right.
looking different, it's what's being done by small businesses. And I think that's the beauty of Web3. Like, we really are the people that are building the Web3. There aren't many brands in there yet, and we're setting the rules as how this whole ecosystem is gonna work. And the metaverse is not a brand, it's not Facebook. The metaverse is, it's like this whole experience, moment, space that is happening right now. And we all have the capacity to take our concept and build a small universe or a small portal, and not live there, but give the people the experience to participate in your work, in your artwork, to be a part of it, to be an avatar, to
Yeah.
experience having things that looks like you, and moving around space, and in spaces that look like you.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
being here, like, I feel like I'm really here with you for a moment.
You
So
are
it's
here with me
amazing.
in my
And
studio.
I am here.
Even
I
though
am here with
we
you.
are like, I don't know, probably like 8 countries apart. You are
Yeah.
here with me.
And
It feels
oceans and
super close.
stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's the Darien also in the middle. It's a very
Yeah.
deep topic for us right now. Yeah, but I like what you're saying about people being able to be creative and be an artist here. Some people talk to me like mostly old people. They are like, why are people being an artist? They should all be engineers. And I don't think that's right. I feel like there's gonna be a point, just because of the money, but there's gonna be a point where the actual things that matter is the creation of what
Yeah.
comes from the soul of people and what actually
Yeah.
makes them unique, as you say. But technology is just going to be a tool to be used
Yeah.
by creative people,
Absolutely.
and for artists and for musicians and for people that have some ideas and they can just build on top of that. I definitely imagine a far future where everyone is an artist. Everyone is exploding their artist capabilities and what they want to express. Maybe we're going to have universal income and people are going to be always in using a canvas for making some art because that's what they make them some fulfillment in their lives, or just exploring the world, just
Yeah.
making music because it's fun. It is really fun, and it makes you feel good, and it makes you feel like you're creating something and living something for the world, which is great. Have you ever thought that, like, do you, if you were able to see the art that your grandma and the grandma of your grandma did, that would be really nice, right? So your art is gonna be preserved from like forever in humanity until we go extinct or something, because your
Yeah.
art is digital, always gonna be there, right? So probably, I don't know if you have kids or you're planning to, or you will have maybe some family, they're gonna say that was my aunt, or that was my mom, or my grandma did this, or I don't know, like 200 grandmas ago, look what she did. So it's always gonna be present. It is gonna be, it's crazy. Even this video, it's probably going to be replayed by our family like 100 years from now, and they're going to say, wow,
Yeah.
this is really cool, look what they did. They were like such ahead of their time, they were having fun, they were being creative, they were expressing themselves, and they were advising people. And so I always think about that everything, every content and every digital kind of thing we create, it is going to be part of history somehow. Isn't it crazy?
Yeah, I think so too. And yeah, I think it's crazy. And sometimes I feel like this responsibility to build
Yeah,
a reality that it's nice. Like I don't want
yeah.
to bring the bad stuff in between, like the commas. From me, yes. I love
You
it.
can do it. Yeah.
Blah
All
blah
right.
blah 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 blah
Don't kill me,
blah
don't
blah
kill
blah
me.
blah 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 blah.
Blank, blank, blank.
Ja, ja, ja,
Escúchala.
ja. Oh,
Sóplala,
you're
sóplala.
terrible. No. So yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
pretty responsible for building a reality because we really don't know to what extent this is going to be a reality in the future. Like I really
Yeah.
feel, and obviously I believe that if I weren't believing that, I wouldn't be here. I think VR and AR, it's absolutely the future, and at some point it's gonna be like just like goggles or glasses, like sunglasses, but with AR integrated.
Definitely, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
This is just a very first version, and you can already
yeah,
feel this sense of presence with me, even though we are miles and miles apart. And it's not, it doesn't feel like a
absolutely.
Zoom call at all. It feels like
No,
just you're here. So
no, and
and this is just a very first version. Imagine, I don't know, 5, 10 years from now. I think that's
yeah,
great.
and I've been in the internet for since 1996, I think, and it was pretty early for me. And I think
Right.
I I,
That was
I
wild.
know how
That
to.
internet
Huh?
was wild. That internet was
Yeah,
wild.
yeah, it was.
That was
But
crazy
I've been building
internet.
my digital identity since,
All
and
right.
I've changed it a lot. Like when we started, you started saying my all my also known as, like AKA Chamacandela,
Yeah.
AKA UhCaribe, AKA, because I've been changing my name a lot, and I changed how I look to the internet. I've been growing in front of people, and of course,
Yeah.
all the newer generations are living that in an extreme way. And sometimes I do get scared that people are gonna be more inside here when it gets better and lighter than in the outside world. But on the other hand, I don't get so scared because I've made connections that are so important for me in online. Like they have started online. My partner, my business partner, she's called Ava, and we knew each other a year and a half ago over the internet. And
Mhm.
just 2 months ago we met each other in real life, and we've been partners, we've
Nice.
been sharing money, we've been building together. And we
Yeah,
did
yeah.
this in real life party. We do hybrid IRL parties,
Mhm.
and we met each other just 2 months ago. And it's the same energy. I was kind of scared because it's not the same like when you were on the phone. Like
Right, right.
you ever had like a blind phone call with someone, and like for months, and then you met that person and it was like really awkward in like
Yeah,
in
yeah.
person. It was super awkward. But I don't know if it's because we're older now, or if it's because we already had this exchange of energy through the visual
Mhm.
of having us on video calls too, that it made it so. I don't know, it was the same. It was just better because we could hug each other, because we could touch each other. But other than that, it wasn't
Yeah.
different, it was the same. So
Definitely.
I'm not scared about I'm not scared about how this can affect community. I think it
Hmm.
brings us together, like more together. And
Yeah,
yeah, the outside
when people,
world, it's
yeah,
important to.
yeah, when people
No,
ask me about if I'm scared of this, I'm very into like going hiking, take a bike and go biking. I do martial arts. I'm very into physical stuff too, and nature and all of that.
yeah,
It's not like I'm always just at my computer. But when people ask me if I'm scared of this, I just tell them that it's just gonna be another medium to do more stuff. It's not like this is
yeah,
gonna consume you. There's a lot of people, for example, that is very lonely. You know, they don't have any friends, and here
yeah,
this could give them another way to meet people, and that is also socializing. They are socializing with real people. They could be doing exercise. They could be meeting other places, and they could go to parties, for example, and maybe improve their sociability or how they speak or how they get more
absolutely.
confident in themselves and then go to a real life party. I definitely don't see like this is going to be substituting real world at all. I just feel like
No.
this is going to be another tool to enhance the real life, another way to express yourself, another way to connect with people. Mostly these connections, right? Like we have these superpowers here that I can just, if I have something cool to show you, I can just do this, right? And show you this
Ah,
really cool NFT
my
that you made.
baby. Oh,
Yeah, so I think it's really important for people to understand that this is just gonna be another way to like experience life. You know, even if you are just using some glasses with some smart sunglasses, maybe you're going to have more natural movements to control a digital device. Or so there is a game, for example, that is called Rec Room, and in that game you can do a lot of stuff, but you can make friends. And the way you make friends is not like in Facebook that you need to look for the name of the other person and
yeah.
send a request, and the other person accepts. So the way you make friends is just fist bumping. You just fist bump with the other person,
Oh,
and now you're friends. Yeah, and now you're added to your friends list. So I definitely see all these new like physical already established way to interact between humans now being super powered by technology, and that's the real deal. Like this is a real connection, and this is a real chat, way
absolutely.
more real than just being in on WhatsApp sending stickers, even though I like them stickers.
No,
Stickers
but
are
for
fun.
real, yeah, it's better.
Yeah, yeah. But this is
It's
this
way
is better.
better.
This feels like we are just in my
It's not
office
so
or in my
tiring.
studio.
At the end, you're using your whole body.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sitting here
And you
talking
can
to you. I
express
can move
more,
my
right?
hands.
You
Yeah,
can express your
yeah,
laughs or the way you move. And this is not something that you're going to be able to see if we are chatting on WhatsApp, for example, the way I move or the way
yeah,
my cadence of speech. And with the new headset, you're going to be able to see my facial expressions or where am I moving my eyes, for example. And that's going to be getting better and better with time. And I'm gonna be very lucky if I can see all of that included now in the Cariberse, and that
yeah.
is gonna be the last topic that I wanted to know about because it's super interesting. So, can you talk a little bit about what the Cariberse is?
The Cariberse. No, that's a
That's a
cactus.
cactus
Uh,
verse.
oh no, the gun. It's gone. The gun is gone.
Yeah.
So the Cariverse, it's a platform for sharing Caribbean culture through audiovisual experiences, and these audiovisual experiences are hybrid, which means they are in real life and online. Online, you can experience the actual party. Right now it's on Discord, so you get a whole streaming, like a really good high quality streaming. We've been doing it with this team called Bloque 79, and they're like super great. They have all the tools, all the wires, all the cameras, and all the stuff that it's actually needed to do a high quality streaming with multiple cameras and framing and all that stuff. And we have musicians that are live, and musicians that have pre-recorded their set, so we can have them like a pre-party on Discord, because people online are really on like they are o'clock. They always get on time, and it's not the
Mhm.
same like on the actual party. So
Mhm. Mhm.
for this pre-party on Discord, people get to, I don't know, at 6 p.m. for example, and they get all this music and they chat with the community. We have a bunch of cool emojis that we made ourselves, and they're super fun. And we always set a theme for the party, and it's every 3 months, so it's on equinoxes and solstices. And this is because we love magic. We love chaos magic. Like in actual life, we do a lot of stuff with that, with tarot and astrology and stuff like that. So we
All right.
celebrate our accomplishments on equinoxes and solstices. And every 3 months we do these parties. We put up themes, and the themes are meant for people to understand why what we want to communicate, or what the narrative is around this
Mhm.
like this time for us, and what the next 3 months are going to be for us and for the project. The Cariberse works as an umbrella for all the things that I've been doing. And my partner and I, what I do is I'm a creative director for the project, and she is a creative director too, but she also like oversees the whole advert, like the marketing part of the
Mhm.
Cariverse. And that has helped me a lot, because I don't have to always be thinking on how to promote the whole concept. She has the mind to it, and we work together as I do the art of the little project, like the sub projects that are under this umbrella, which are Ubodega. Bodega, it's a concept store with it's all NFTs right now. So Bodega, it's a concept store where you can get audiovisual, like really little animations that are augmented reality enabled when you get the print. So in real life parties, people can get with the Artivibe app, which is the app we use, and with their phone they can access the augmented reality of the artwork. So it's not a
Yeah.
QR code that you get and get into the online stuff. Like we really want to have people. We really want people to have the immersive experience outside the
Yeah.
goggles. Like you don't
Yeah.
need the
Yeah. Yeah.
goggles
Yeah.
for it, and augmented reality does that. And then we have this multi-sensory experience in real
Mhm.
life, because you get to the party and we have a special smell for the party, and we put out flowers and we put up candles and have lighting,
Right.
and sometimes we have decoration, and we get again to that full circle stuff, because it's
Mhm.
again me doing parties, it's again me
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
flyers and inviting musicians and having decoration and having people attending a real party, but it's also uh, an online party. And the greatest goal I have for the Cariverse is doing an actual metaverse, which is
Mhm.
the Cariverse, and that's the why it's called like that. It's a
Yeah.
it's a universe of the Cariverse of the Caribbean. It's not like we're gonna do the Caribbean how we know it and just do it on my style and put it out there. We're
Yeah.
doing a whole new universe based on our own beliefs. We're doing, I don't know, our own divinity system, like the magic system we have. It's powerful
Okay.
mamacitas, and that's the other project. We have a PFP project, which is profile pictures project,
Mhm.
and you can see a lot of that in NFTs, like those monkey drawings and the pixel drawings, and all
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
projects that have been really are really famous. They're not famous for the art as itself or at the beginning. Right now they're doing amazing things with art, but at the beginning it was having an identity, having a PFP that would give you like a badge of you now belong to this community. And the communities, what they do, it's they put up goals together and they build together. So if you have 400 people like we got on Discord, and if we were to have 400 PFPs, which is not the case at the moment, but if we were to have them, we would have 400 people identifying themselves with an art that looks like us. And then this character that it's the PFP, if you do the character design and build this character in 3D, you're not you're now going to be able to use it as we are using these characters right now and these avatars right now. So the idea of having a Cariberse is not having just our theme in metaverses that are already built.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
the idea of building our own, to have our own style. And all these things we've been doing, all this art I've been doing for the past 1.5 year, and all the things I've done in the past with the Caribbean theme, it's now working as a concept art for building an actual universe you can immerse yourself and experience. So it's all gonna make sense in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. It's
Right, right,
always a
right.
work in
Yeah.
progress. It's the first time I feel being super committed to something I'm doing. It's the first time
Yeah.
I feel like I have a
Don't you feel?
consistency I
Yeah.
can hold on.
Yeah. But no, no. Don't you feel like you feel committed because you're committed on yourself, because the project is you, and of course your partner, but it's what you represent and what you are, and you are just putting it in these digital art forms, and you are exporting it to these other worldwide communities of who you
Yeah,
are,
but
right? And
it's
I
my
think that's
age.
awesome.
It's my age too, because it takes time for one to know yourself.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
when I was in my 20s, I didn't know who I was, so I didn't know what I wanted to do. And when I got to my 30s, which is where I am now, it's I have a better sense of what I want to do. It kind of delayed when I started being a migrant, because, as you know, when you leave your country, you kind of leave your essence as your family, your roots, and stuff like
yeah,
that. But having that experience is what actually made me commit to wanting to share the Caribbean culture, because I wasn't feeling much a Venezuelan for that moment. Or I was denying myself to feel Venezuelan because it was so painful. And
yeah,
being a
yeah,
Caribbean made more sense, and it was like a broader identity I could share
yeah, yeah,
with so many people from other countries. And we do have a lot of stuff to share. Like, if you get patacones, for example, you
oh
can
yeah.
eat patacones at Dominicana and Costa Rica and Panama and Colombia. So we have a lot of stuff that it's we can relate to, and it's not so large like being Latino. We still, as Latino, have a lot of things in common,
Yeah.
but as Caribbeans, it's crazy. Like, we talk the same, and we like the same music, and we
Mm-hmm.
move the same way. It's crazy.
Yeah,
So being Caribbean felt like, yeah, like a size, like a good size to me, for
like a
me to
good
bite.
size.
And
Yeah,
yeah, like
yeah,
a good size, and for me to share. So
I
yeah,
like it.
the I think knowing myself at this point, at the point I can tell you all of this, and having working on this
Mm-hmm.
project for 1.5 year, knowing I'm building this and giving myself the enough freedom to move around these other little projects that are under the umbrella, but at the same time having the focus on the umbrella, it's perfect for me. But that is because I've been working so hard on knowing myself to that level, like
Right.
knowing my timing, my creative timing, giving myself the freedom to work when I want, where I want, with what I want, with who I want. Like it's always that, like who I want,
Yeah.
who I
Yeah. Yeah.
want, who I want, because I'm all up for community. I've been,
Yeah.
I don't know, I've been giving away my knowledge for this 20 years. I've been learning stuff. Like I love
Yeah.
teaching all the things I've done. I love
Mm-hmm.
building methodologies for things that didn't have methodologies, and for things that took me a lot of time to put together into something that made sense. And
Yeah.
right now, it can be like a course that I can give you in 2 hours or 1 week. And
Nice.
I love doing
You
that.
should
But
do that. You should
I
build a
do that.
course, an online course or something like that. Do you?
I have them. I have one
All right.
on Creana as an animator, and I have a bunch just for free for building your own identity, for building your own brand, for building your color palette, for
Yeah.
doing dance animation, for doing
Mm-hmm.
portraits. I mean, everything that I do, I teach for free. And NFTs gave me that opportunity because uh, before that, I would have to put all of this knowledge behind doors and give it just to people that were able to pay me via Patreon or paying me directly for a course. And right now, it's all for free and it's on my Discord. And I love doing that. I love being able to do so. At the same time, I love having time for myself, and I love having time for my art and for discovering who I am and for building spaces, and not all the time like being a community manager or being I don't know, like talking to people. I love talking and talking to people, but
Thank you
I love
for love
talking.
talking to me.
You know I love it.
Yeah. Talking is fun.
But
Talking is fun.
yeah, but for real, I just need my time, and I need to learn
Yeah.
new stuff that I can teach. If I'm always teaching, if I'm always making content and creating content and
Right.
considering my art content, I'm not building and I'm not creating, and that's actually the base of what I give to the world. So I am right now, I'm in my phase of building, I'm in my phase of creating, I'm in my phase on appreciating all of this time that I can be an artist and that I can wake up and just do whatever I want and put it up for sale. It for sure
Right.
is.
Right.
I get freaked out because I don't know if it's gonna sell, and I don't know if I'm gonna have to go back to an 9 to 5 job, or but it's not real. At the end of the day, it's just fear. It's pure fear, because
Right.
I've
Right.
been building a community it's there to support me, like yourself, and I don't need like a huge collector to get my work, but I just
Yeah.
need I don't know, 20 people, 50 people to buy my art monthly. And it's the art that I want to do, and it's not commission work. I mean, I'm not talking badly about all of those experiences, because those experiences, like doing commissions and working at an office and doing all of that, it's what brought me here and gave me all the experience that I'm able to share right
Mm-hmm.
now. But of course, I appreciate more just waking up and doing my stuff. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course, I love that.
Yeah. I
So
like
yeah,
what
I
you're
wanna be.
saying about. Yeah. I like what you're saying about like knowing yourself very much, about who you are, what you like to do, what you don't like to do, what you are good at, what makes you feel very nice when you go to sleep, and then going all in into that, right?
Yeah.
I really like that. And so there is a story about Hussein Bolt. You know Hussein Bolt,
Uh-huh.
the
Yeah,
fastest man
of
on earth.
course.
So
Yeah.
there's a story about him that he's super super tall. So he looks like he wasn't performing at some time. He wasn't performing very well because he was very tall. So it was very hard for him to gain speed. But I think the story is kind of like this. But the start for him, oh yeah, the start when he start, it was like very complicated because no, he was super good in the start, but gaining speed was hard. But the start was good. So
Okay.
then he got a trainer, and they were like trying to make him better in all the areas, but
Mm-hmm.
then he wasn't progressing too much. He wasn't progressing. So he got another trainer, and they say, this other trainer said, forget about gaining speed. You're good at the start. Let's make you the best at the start because you are good at that. That's
Oh,
who you
wow.
are. And he went all in the start, and now he's the fastest man on earth. So that is really nice. That you don't have to be everything. You just need to know
No,
yourself, and you could change, as you said. You could be changing with the time, with the things you like. I think we're all changing depending on the things that are happening to us, the thing we're learning every day, the people we meet. Probably this conversation is gonna leave you something like this experience, and then you're gonna go to your bed thinking, "Hey, that was really cool." Maybe you're
for
gonna have some
sure.
ideas, and you connected with another professional in a different area that you may be connecting later or something. But you are always in this change state and in this growing state. And I feel like you found this, and you found who you are, and you're building from there. And it's really nice to see someone who found something like that. It's really cool.
Nah, thank you for appreciating it. I think you're on the same stage too, because if it wasn't like that, you wouldn't be able to appreciate it. I think, like, I love this set. I love what you're doing here, and
Thank you, thank you.
it's like you have your work, and this is your passion, and your passion is it's way better. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's
So
really cool.
I
It's really
think
cool.
that's what happens when you do things with passion. Like eventually, maybe it's not right
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
maybe it's not like a boom of fame, but what takes time to build and what is made with love and passion over time, it is
Yeah,
just,
I think
I don't
I
know,
think we are
it
alike
resists
in that
time.
sense. Yeah,
What?
I think we're alike in that sense. We are like very
Absolutely.
passionate,
Yeah.
and if we're like passionate about something, we just don't care if we're not sleeping or if we're not eating.
Ah, I can relate.
Yeah, love for passion. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, I think I've been always like this. When I ended from high school, I was like, I want to study in the Universidad Central, or else I'm not gonna
Uh-huh.
study. And I was like, that was my two choices: or I study here, or I don't study at all. So,
Okay.
and I was lucky enough to be able to study there for some years, but then I dropped out. And then when I moved here, I always felt like if I'm gonna work for big tech, I want to work for Facebook because that's where the cool shit is happening. That's where they're putting a lot of effort in research to build a lot of components for people to make stuff, and you can be very
Right.
creative, and it's not gonna be like something very strict and very old fashioned. And now I'm here, so that makes me super happy. I mean, I'm very able to be very creative and express myself a lot. And my role is it's like a creative technologist, so I can just come up with ideas and prototype them and show it to my boss.
Nah, that's
Yeah, it's
amazing.
really
And did
cool.
you
It's
think
really nice.
that did you feel like you had to say a lot of no's or to let go of a lot of stuff to get especially what you wanted? Did you have to say a lot of no's?
I mean, I had to go through a lot of stuff to get here. Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, especially being an immigrant in probably in a similar condition like you, because we were all went through this crazy country situation, and I came
Yeah.
here, for example, without a work permission. So I just came here as a
Yeah.
tourist, and I had to stay here for a year with no work per authorization. So my first job was a gymnastics teacher, and then I
Oh,
work
well,
in some
that was a cool
restaurants.
job.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. And then I worked in some restaurants, and like in the mornings I was working in some restaurants, and then in the night when I was super tired physically, I was working in my software projects. I was building apps, I was building really cool things, but I needed to feed myself so I don't die.
Yeah.
So that is
Yeah.
important too sometimes.
That happens.
um yeah, that you know how it is. You know how it is. But I'm really glad that you've been in Colombia for a while and you have met really nice people, and now you are in this creative phase. And not everyone gets to be into that creative phase. That it's just
Yeah.
creation. And I'm really happy you're there. I feel like I'm there too, and it's nice just have an idea and just being able to grab it from your brain. In the brain is just some neurons triggering some
Yeah.
electricity. It's just a piece of something there, and being able to put it in paper and show it to people like, hey, I have this in my brain.
Yeah,
Isn't it crazy?
creating,
This is what
creating.
this studio is. This was just something that came up from my imagination, and I just put it here. So
I like your
it's really nice being able
imagination.
to be a
You
creative.
have good
You like
taste.
it? Yeah, I mean, if you see around, it's like a combination between nature and technology, and I think that's
Yeah.
kind of what you're trying to do too. You're combining art, magic, technology. I like that, and maybe we have this because we came from a very similar place, and we got a lot of nature. We had like El Avila, for example. I from a very ecologic place, which is Caricuao. There was a lot of
Yeah.
trees, so we had the guacamayas. We were always
See.
we were like educated around this. Like it's very important, the nature. So I think you too. I think you put it a lot in your art too, and it's nice to see like how these likings and how these environments where we were raised like branch into like these professional creations. Isn't it nice?
Absolutely. And meeting here, like in this technological environment, because it's a technological environment. I know we had to be so resourceful, like
Yeah.
being in Venezuela and then being out of Venezuela made us so resourceful that
Yeah.
everything
That's
we
true.
see is like a possibility, and we know how to do
Yeah.
so many things. So
I know
mixing
how
them
to do a
all,
lot of shit.
right? So
Yeah.
mixing them all, it's kind of like
Yeah,
what
yeah, yeah.
makes sense, because you're made of so many experiences, and so many different experiences, that if
Mhm.
you just focus on one thing, it's boring.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
so
that's
you need
true. That's
to,
true.
like, I don't know, like put everything together, and everything that says you. And it's so important for people to tell their story,
Yeah, yeah.
because as migrants, and being this like huge migrant wave, one of the biggest in the world, sometimes we diminish what our experience was, because so many people
Mhm.
have had it worse. And I think it's really important that even if our experiences seem the same at the core, we still tell our stories, and we still show ourselves in these little things that are surrounding us, and these spaces that we're building, because
Yeah.
we have the opportunities, like we have the privilege, and we have like the duty to tell our story, and the
Mhm.
story of the place we come from. And if it's in, I don't know, if it's in our DNA, teaching, like teaching other people how to tell their story, so their story it's here too, in this, I don't know, this eternity we're aiming for, which is the digital
Yeah.
world. So yeah, I think it's really important to just be us, and know ourselves, and share it with the world, and be our best selves, to be the best community when we get together with people like you and I are doing here. And
Yeah.
how, and how it feels like when you're on Twitter or on Instagram or WhatsApp, whatever. Like, if you are the best self that you can be, it's what is better for the world. Sometimes people are saying that if you're being a creative, or if you're focusing on just doing whatever you want, you're being selfish. And maybe, yeah, but it's a selfishness that is needed to have a better world. Because if you are not concentrated for a moment in who you are and what you want and your own limits and your boundaries, and like cleaning your mental, physical, and emotional space, if you're not up to that, you're on automatic just building the same shitty stuff that we have experienced for
Yeah.
for forever, and the things that have created trauma too. And because there are a lot of things that have created beautiful things that we're experiencing right now, like our our grannies and the grannies of our grannies have done art, and that brought us here. But
Yeah.
the traumas are there too, and if we are not able to point that out, and if we keep saying that this is like a crystal generation, that it's too fragile and stuff like that, we're gonna be building this metaverse that is supposed to be something revolutionary, and it's supposed to be some sort of evolution for consciousness or energy or whatever. We're gonna be building the same bad stuff. So we need
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
focus. And I think I refer to that as individual collectiveness. Like, you need to you need to be an individual first, and you need to connect truly to what you want and to your passions and to the causes you want to support, and not trying to be a savior for everything, and just focus on what you can. I think that's what's gonna do this, I don't know, a better place. If it's gonna be a place, it is a place. It is a place.
This is definitely a place. It is. Have you
It's
heard
so
of WAGMI?
confusing. Wagme, no.
WAGMI, like we're all gonna make it. It's very like
Oh,
used in
of
crypto
course,
NFT.
yeah. I
Yeah,
never
right.
heard it as
WAGMI.
a word. I
I
I
don't know
always
how
said
do you
like
say it
we're all
in
gonna make
Spanish.
it, or
We're all gonna make.
WM. Ah, we're all gonna make it.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah, yeah.
acronym.
That
I never
word.
say it. Or
WAGMI. Yeah.
GM,
I don't know.
GM. It's
Yeah.
everything GM on Web3.
What is GM? Good
It's the
morning.
nicest thing. Like, yeah, everyone
Good
is
morning.
saying good morning to each
Okay.
other all the time, and it's the nicest thing. And it doesn't matter if it's the night or the afternoon or the morning. It's always GM. No, there are so many people that are so nice in Web3. I have the
Yeah,
best
yeah,
experience. I have so many friends now, and I really
yeah.
consider them
How
friends.
would you recommend
It
someone to start in Web3? If there's someone watching this show, we have a lot of subscribers. We have like 75, which is really nice. And so if
Hi.
you haven't subscribed, subscribe. So always gonna give you a reach out to start in Web3 as an artist or as whoever you are, and you want
Or
to
as
be
a
part of
collector,
this, and
as
you
a
want to meet people
builder,
in Web3,
everyone has space.
whatever you are.
Yeah,
Yeah, a
everyone has
monkey,
space on.
whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everyone
whatever
has
you are.
space on Web3. Like, you can be whoever you want. Like, you want to be a dancer, you want to be a creator, you want to be a builder, you want to be a collector, a supporter, a journalist. I mean, there's space for everyone. An architect, even. Of course, you're always gonna have to be on top of technology, and you're always gonna have to learn something, and this is something that is changing so fast, and technology always changes so fast that you're gonna have to be up to it if you're passionate about it. And you don't have to know how to do everything, and you don't have to be everything. You can hook up with people and have a crew, or join a community that is already built. You don't have to build your own community, that's for sure. I love it. I love building my community. I love building the Cariberse, and love having a Discord and all of that, but that's not necessary. What is really necessary is connecting with people, like talking to people, following people that you really want to connect with, and following artists that you really relate to and that whose art you really connect to. And
Not only
I
Gary
think
B.
no,
Not
no.
only
I
Gary
mean,
B.
Gary Vee is great. I think
All right.
he's an amazing guy. I really like his approach, even though he can be like really straightforward,
Yeah.
and I don't know, like he uses bad words, bad words.
He's funny.
I
He's
do
funny
that.
to
I
watch.
do that too. But he's really straightforward, and he's like he really has a futuristic approach on
Yeah,
everything.
that's true. Yeah.
He
He has
he
predicted a
has
lot of stuff.
perspective. Yeah, he
Yeah.
does. So I think it's not closing to the information just because you don't like the person, or I do like him, but I know
I
many
do
people
like
don't
it.
like
I
him.
like you, Gary B. I know you are watching this video.
I I
I
do like
like
him.
it.
I follow
Yeah, yeah,
him
yeah.
on TikTok because I don't have much time to be on YouTube. So I don't have the time to be like watching a video for 2 hours or stuff like that. But I do follow him on TikTok because he gives like straightforward advices for, I don't know, 3 minutes tops. So it's amazing. And yeah, you don't have to be following that. You don't have to follow like apes or punks or these community projects. You can
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
follow small projects. You can follow DAOs. DAOs are have do you know about DAOs?
No.
DAOs are decentralized autonomous organizations, and this is like, I don't know. I think it's the best thing about Web3 right now. It's a lot of people coming together. They can come together through these PFP projects or through a platform or through, I don't know, just making a token like the Patacoin you
Mm-hmm.
did. And you give this away to people, and all the people that have this token in hand, they have a right to vote. And if you have a project, all of these people can now vote on what the project it's gonna where it's gonna go, or what they're gonna invest on, or
Nice. That's
where
cool.
they're gonna build now. They sometimes buy like really expensive NFTs that as a way to secure more money for the community. And all the people that are owners of the community token, they are kind of owners of that NFT too. So if that NFT worth more in the future, when that person sells the token, they get more money. They get the money they invested on, but like multiplied. Does
Got
it
it.
seem like like a pyramid
The pyramid
scheme?
scheme.
Yeah, for
It's not
sure.
a pyramid scheme, yeah.
Is that bad? I don't think
Is
it's
that
that bad at
better?
all.
Okay, okay.
I think
That's
it
fine.
you have to experience it for yourself, because
Right, right,
people
right.
have made money with my art, but like selling my
Nice.
art. They have bought multiple editions of my art, and
Mm-hmm.
they have sold it for twice the money, three times the money. And I don't
All
think
right.
that's bad. So I don't know, it's whatever you do with the technologies. As you said, it's
Yeah, yeah.
tools. So maybe you have to ask yourself why this is such a problem for large corporations or the large banking system, right? Like you gotta ask yourself those type of questions, because when you get to experience it and you don't conform yourself to the only narrative that is negative about it, and you really let yourself immerse in it and experience why it is so fun to collect from other artists. It is fun because you're like playing with magical economics. It's creative economy. It's a creative economy. It's
It
we
does.
are
Yeah.
all part of this huge community of creatives, and maybe I'm not able to buy something from you that is worth 1,000, but I can pay $13 for something you did. And
Yeah.
I don't know, 100 more people do the same, and now you have like 1,003.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know how to say numbers in English, but 1,300.
Okay,
Now
that's
you
fine.
have 1,300.
Your English is crazy good. I don't know. It's very good. I mean, I don't know. I thought that it. I sorry, I subestimated you, underestimated you, but your English is pretty good. It's really amazing. I'm sure that you're
Open
always
English.
talking to
No,
people in
no,
English, for
mentira.
example. Open English, yeah.
No, I've
Um,
been like my dad first language was English, and
oh, look at
he
that!
used to, I don't know, he had fun sometimes. Like he just woke up one day and started speaking in English for the whole day. He
Wow.
spoke English like in until he was 15. He would spoke he would speak Spanish with my grandma too, but he was living in Aruba and then Trinidad and
All
Tobago.
right.
So his first language was this like English, like from like
Yeah, I
UK
mean it's
English. And
that he woke up one
what?
day, yeah, and he start. It's nice
He
that he woke up one day and he started talking in English. I think that's
Yeah,
better than
and
waking
he
up
he
one
would
day
happen.
and yeah, I think that's better than waking up one day and start talking in Latin or Hebrew, and you're like, "Are you possessed? Like,
He's talking
what did you
tongues.
do?" Yeah, kill
No,
your
no,
brother, kill
but
your brother.
those were like, I don't know, like random days. For the most part,
Alright.
we spoke Spanish, but music was in English, and then we got to live in this my dad used to work for the petroleum company, and we had all these facilities,
Mm,
and there was an antenna
right,
that would
right.
got like the signal from
Yeah.
other countries, and it didn't have subtitles. We only
Oh,
had
yeah,
like
yeah,
closed
yeah.
caption. So
Mhm.
learning English with closed caption, like
Yeah.
watching TV in English with closed caption, that's how I learned how to read and listen and speak. It was, I don't know.
Right. That's very
It was
Venezuelan. If your
yeah,
parents worked at the
it
oil
is.
company, that's the
It
most
is.
Venezuelan thing ever.
I know. I
Yeah.
know, and I moved a lot, and
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I've been kind of like it's not migrant, it's the other word. Like
Like
when you
nomad.
move a lot. Yeah, nomad.
Yeah, very
I've been a
nomad. Yeah,
nomad
that's good. That's
for
good.
my
That's
whole
give you
life.
yeah, that give you a lot of experiences. So,
Yeah,
I think we're good on time. We're gonna
because I
close the
talk a lot.
episode here. Yeah, it was really, really nice to chat with you. You're very fun, and thank you for all the information you gave to all of my viewers. Probably I'm gonna have like around 100,000 subscribers after this episode because you're a very famous artist. So that's really nice. No, no,
Hopefully.
no. But it's actually very nice to have you here. You're a person that I admire, that I've been following for a lot of time. So it's really an honor to have you here in my show and in this
No, it
VR
is.
environment space.
It is my honor, and I have not only huge appreciation for you for inviting me here and for being here and for, I don't know, for this experience for me too, because I think I have learned a lot just being here.
Awesome.
And I admire you too, because you have put up such a nice set, and you did this all by yourself, and I'm amazed. I'm amazed. This is my first
Yeah.
experience being on an interview on VR, and it has
Awesome.
been quite an experience. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for being here. And thank you for watching this episode of Solar Punk City. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe and leave a really nice comment for my guest, UhCaribe, La Chama Candela. And follow her on her Instagram. I'm going to be leaving her Instagram and her social media somewhere around here. And that's it. Thank you. And see you in the next episode of Solar Punk City. Bye.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao, ciao.